They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably. Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble, when it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time. Mm-hmm. If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bouncing him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
Ten seconds remaining.
It'll be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be, work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
Five, 3, 1.
Red 57, Red 57, hot, hot.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sports Line. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
It is the Sportsline for Friday. Thanks for joining us. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter in the studios. And Greg, good evening.
Good evening, Kyle. How are you?
I'm doing well. Watching Mountaineer baseball today. This has been a quick one today, relatively speaking. Kennesaw State just got on the board with a home run. But the Mountaineers have a comfortable lead.
They scored 6 in the third, 2 more in the sixth, and Dawson Montesa was working on a shutout still in the game, with 2 outs in the seventh, and just gave up a home run. So, again, 2 outs, bottom of the seventh. West Virginia leading at Kennesaw State down in Georgia 8-1.
Just as in my mind, I'm going through all the accolades to give Dawson Montesa, gives up a home run. Now, again, 1 run, but this is a guy who threw 6 2/3, has struck out 11, walked none, just gave up his 4th hit. So really good outing by the former Adelphi. You know where Adelphi is? I had to look this up.
Philadelphia?
Long Island.
Long Island, okay.
Okay. Anyways, but he has certainly been very good, and the Mountaineer hitters good as well. 11 hits for West Virginia's hitters, 8 runs, and they're cruising in Game 1 of their weekend series at Kennesaw State.
Yeah, you'd think Montesa gets through the 7th inning, and he'll be at 90 pitches. So that probably would be it for him. But, again, the offensive support, big 6-run inning for West Virginia in the third. And how hot is Matt Einich? He has 2 hits today. He's 2 for 4, including a double, and his average went down.
It is hilarious, is it not?
Yeah, so he came in at 538, and the average slightly down today despite going 2 for 4. Gavin Kelly, a 2 for 4 day with a couple of RBI, including a double. The Mountaineers have another home run as going deep today was Brock Wills, so that's his second. That's the only home run today, but extra base hits by Einich, Kelly, and Wills with the home run. And Paul Schoenfeld had a 2-run double. He drove in the 2 runs in the sixth. He's 2 for 4. And, again, an all-around good day for West Virginia, leading at Kennesaw State 8-1, with Kennesaw State batting in the bottom of the 7th inning with 2 outs.
So 3-game series at Kennesaw State for the Mountaineers. Then 2 on Tuesday and Wednesday against Radford back in Morgantown. You got some just sad, just distressing news out of Radford, though.
Radford had a young man killed in a car accident, a freshman member of the baseball team, and an individual whose father had coached at Radford, and the father had moved on to professional baseball as a scout. But earlier this week, Radford had a tragic situation with a freshman player. He died after a single vehicle accident, which appeared to have happened somewhere near campus. It was near the baseball stadium. So terrible news there. And they went on. They played a game today and won. So
walk-off fashion over Bryant. One, I think it's 5-4 was the final, but I saw a little clip of the highlight. Walk-off in the bottom of the 9th for Radford as they try to overcome the death of a teammate.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the horrible news, and Radford continuing on with the season, playing their weekend series starting tonight, and they'll be in Morgantown 4 games Tuesday and Wednesday, although
weather?
Snow again.
Oh, geez.
Sunday and Monday.
Thanks.
Yeah. Now, Tuesday, it's going to be back in the 50s, but there's rain in the forecast. So, again, as long as it's not raining at game time, they'll play.
That is a nice thing about that ballpark is it takes a whole lot for them not to get a game in over there. So, but after having their first home game earlier this week against Ohio, West Virginia's got a string of them coming up, obviously starting with Radford, as you said, Tuesday and Wednesday. And
conference play begins fairly soon as well. So the next home game, West Virginia against Radford. Radford at home playing Bryant in a weekend series. And as Greg mentioned, they won in walk-off fashion today. And their record's 6-2. And but again, you're dealing with grief. At this point, it probably just hasn't set in yet. That's tough. That's a horrible thing to deal with. 304 Talk 304, that is the number here, the text number. A lot to do tonight. Both basketball coaches had media events today, so we'll here's some of that audio. Put it in context here as Montesa just got out of the bottom of the 7th with a deep fly ball to center. So it is 8-1, West Virginia heading to the 8th inning, and the Mountaineers had the bullpen cranked up. So that will be Montesa's last batter that he faces. West Virginia will have a new pitcher in the bottom of the 8th. But again, the starter going 7 for the first time this year and throwing over 90 pitches, Dawson Montesa. Back to basketball. Again, the Mountaineers hosting A.J. DeBansta and BYU in front of a sold-out crowd tomorrow. So Coach Ross Hodge talked about a lot of things. He gave a little bit of a scouting report on DeBansta. He talked about West Virginia's morale, dealing with a 3-game losing streak, and still a lot on the table here. 3 regular season games left, and obviously they're winnable. BYU at home without Richie Saunders, sellout crowd at Kansas State next week, and then back home to Central Florida, UCF, a team you've already beaten.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, some games that certainly in this league, there aren't any that you can't lose, but especially the way that BYU sort of stumbled here lately especially after the loss of Richie Saunders, makes them much more susceptible than they were earlier in the year. I mean, saw that just this past week when they got just absolutely destroyed by UCF in Provo. So, and then UCF, like you said, UCF's an NCAA tournament team, but West Virginia went down to Orlando a week and a half ago and got a win. So, take your shot, see what you can do. Like I said, this thing's coming to a close real quickly for the Mountaineers. Is in between those 2 home games is a trip to Kansas State, and that's it for the regular season.
Latest bracketology, Joe Lunardi has 8 teams in. Arizona, a number 1 seed. Iowa State, a 2. Kansas and Houston, 3 seeds. Texas Tech, a 4. BYU, a 6. UCF, a 9. And TCU, among the last 4 in, a number 11 seed. So 8 teams in from the Big 12 Conference, and Joe Lunardi also has Indiana in the last team in.
In case you're interested.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Indiana's been playing well of late, and at least according to Joe Lunardi, the last team in the 64-team field as of right now. And Cincinnati would be the 12th Big 12 team. He's got them among the first 4 out.
There you go. We'll get into the women's side of things,
right.
But obviously West Virginia, which is facing their regular season finale on Sunday against Cincinnati, safely in the NCAA tournament field. It's just a matter of what their seed's going to be. Mm-hmm. Latest seed had them at a 5. Obviously 4 and above is what you're shooting for, so they're not far off that line, but they've got work to do, according to Charlie Cream at ESPN.
Yeah. The last Cream bracket, which it was updated today as well, I believe, has West Virginia 5 seed going to Oklahoma.
That remained his prognostication today, and I think you do have to pay attention to that seed line, because I think, as we saw last year with the men, none of them are perfect, but they're usually pretty close to that. And the other 4s, as you said, Oklahoma's 1, but Michigan State, Kentucky, and Ohio State. So those would be the regions in the locations you would go to if those seed lines remain the same. But, between the regular season finale and then conference tournament, there's a lot of juggling that still could happen, not just for West Virginia, but all those teams sort of in that area.
Matt Einich just got another base hit, so his average is up.
He's been you'd love to say this role continue through the entire season, but boy, this is a hot streak. We've seen some hot streaks, J.J. Weatherholt type hot, but boy, is he hot through the first 8 games of the year.
So 3 hits today, 17 on the year, and he had to get 3 hits for his average to go up today, 3 or more.
2 of 4, and your average goes down. That tells you how well you're hitting.
304 Talk 304. We will get into the tape when we return. We'll hear first from Ross Hodge. And I'm looking up here real quick before we take the break. He's got to be leading the nation in hits, doesn't he? With 17. Let's see. When the day started, well, Missouri's got a kid with 20 already, if you can believe it. So Einich with 17 would be in the top 10 in the country in hits, but Tyler Macon of Missouri, a sophomore infielder, started the weekend with 20 base hits. So that's a heater.
Yeah, it is.
We'll take a break. 304 Talk 304. That's the text line if you'd like to join us. And we'll be back on the CityNet statewide sports line from the Health Plan Studios. Since 1979, the Health Plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The Health Plan.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
At the Health Plan, we are here for you, and we have been one of the most trusted carriers for over 40 years. Headquartered right here in West Virginia, providing exceptional health coverage and local customer service.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
The weekend's almost here, and are you looking for the perfect way to enjoy the water? Lou Wendell Marine Sales has you covered with Avalon pontoon boats. These luxurious, high-performance pontoons offer smooth rides, spacious seating, and top-tier durability. Built with precision and style, Avalon pontoons deliver comfort and reliability season after season. Visit Lou Wendell Marine Sales today and experience the Avalon difference. Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence. Make plans to join me at the Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show presented by Can-Am, Saturday and Sunday, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Over 200 vendor booths and 100,000 square feet of everything outdoors, all under one roof. Great prizes, seminars, and kids fish for free in the Academy Sports Trout Pond. It's the 24th annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. A WVRC media event.
Answering a text or phone call while driving seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kurtzwell. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line on Metro News Television.
Sitting at Statewide Sports Line from the Health Plan Studios. Kyle and Greg with you on this Friday. 3 Guys event going on tonight at Buffalo Wild Wings. If you're in the vicinity, if you've come early for the basketball game, probably not as obviously not as many that do that as do it for football, but I would imagine there's some people that come to town.
Absolutely.
The
Make
night
a long
before.
weekend of it.
So
Absolutely.
3 Guys before the game event at Buffalo Wild Wings tonight. Mountaineers have tacked on a run. Matt Einich, we mentioned he got a hit, and on a wild pitch went from first to third and then scored. So Einich's average up to 548 with the 3 hits today.
Yeah. And you say he's not leading the nation,
no,
both
he's not
in
leading
hits or average?
No, he's not. There's other players. He's in the top 10 in both, but he's not leading the nation, which you would think conventional wisdom would think that he would be leading the nation, but not quite. Close, but not quite. Mountaineers have tacked on a run. They lead 9-1 in the top half of the 8th inning. All right, West Virginia against BYU. Sold out Coliseum. This game's been sold out for a while.
Yeah, a lot of people looking forward to this. Obviously, late in the season, your weekend opportunity there in a high-end opponent. I think most people knew that BYU was going to contend for NCAA tournament, Big 12, high finish and all those things. And the Cougars maybe have stumbled a couple of times, but they still got a chance to make a lot of noise, both once they get to Kansas City and then following that as well.
Now, by all means, I do not want to scare anybody away. I talked about snow. Did we say that on the air? Or was that us talking off the air?
No, you mentioned that
for
the weekend, but that wasn't until Sunday.
Sunday.
You said, right?
Tomorrow is supposed to be like 61.
Yeah. So you can get out there and tailgate.
Yeah, exactly. You could tailgate in 61-degree weather prior to West Virginia against BYU. All right, what did the coach have to say? A.J. DeBansta leading the nation in scoring at over 25 points per game. And Mountaineer coach Ross Hodge had a scouting report on the fine freshman.
1, 2, or whatever. He's definitely, worthy of all the praise and attention that he's gotten. And I think what impresses you as much as his talent, which is very impressive, obviously, just his commitment to his teammates and how he celebrates those guys, and his leadership for a young player has been really, really impressive on top of what he can do individually.
Is he a problem in the transition game?
Yeah. I mean, he's a problem in every facet of the game, but he certainly can distort you in ways that a lot of people can't because of his size and his versatility and his fluidity. And, typically in your transition defense, your guards are going to be, the ones that are stopping the ball, and he can create, an automatic mismatch from the jump just because he has the ball in his hand so much.
How do they play around him?
Yeah, they do a good job of, getting them in space and, put shooting around them, and just, he's evolved as the years went on, and again, he really is, for as dynamic a scorer as he is, he's gotten better as a facilitator, and again, at this point, I mean, you could basically label him as a point guard for him. I mean, the ball will be in his hands, 75% of the game, the other 25%, maybe 60-30, but in Rob Wright's hands. But, yeah, they do a good job, and, his pick and roll decision-making and reads has gotten better with his size, and he's a challenge for sure.
So a lot there on DeBansta, again, who leads the nation in scoring 25.1 points per game, gets to the foul line a ton, 236 free throws shot this year, shoots the three fairly well, 37% on the season, 39 of made threes. That's the third most on the team, and also second in rebounding by a hair on their team, close to 7 rebounds per game. And the coach talked about his passing, which has improved greatly, 107 assists on the season, second to the point guard Rob Wright. He's a great point guard. His assist-to-turnover ratio is spectacular, but DeBant's the second on the team in assists, so he's doing it all.
Yeah, I mean he's very capable, and without Saunders, DeBance has had to step up his scoring even more, and he's done that. But Wright's also very important to them in terms of now having to take over some more of a scoring role as well. So those will be the two to keep an eye on. Obviously, all eyes will be on DeBance, but don't lose sight of Wright as well.
What about the Mountaineers? How's the morale? West Virginia having lost 3 consecutive games.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, obviously, the initial aftermath of any of those losses is in the locker room. You're going to be disappointed. But, there's no again, it's mature enough, and I think even from a leadership standpoint, it's hard not to just fall in the trap of, like we talked about before, you win, you're great, you lose, you're terrible. We've been fortunate enough to win some games, one-possession games, that easily could have went the other way. And all 3 of these last games that we've been in easily could have went our way, but they didn't. But again, you're not looking at an insurmountable mountain to climb. You're literally looking at it, a block out here, a free throw there, a rebound here, a made shot here, a missed shot here. That's the difference in what you're dealing with. And do you have the the emotional intelligence and the maturity to stay the course, stay together, which this group does better than anybody I've been around, and still find a level of, excitement in what you're doing every day. And that's where, if you love basketball and you love each other and you love challenges, then you're going to be in the right place, and there's going to be a certain level of excitement even in the midst of disappointing times.
3 straight losses, Utah at home. The road games at TCU and Oklahoma State were both tight, although they were completely opposite games. TCU scored 60 to beat the Mountaineers. Oklahoma State scored 91 in overtime to hold off West Virginia.
Yeah, so we'll see. Like you said, this is a winnable but very difficult game for the Mountaineers tomorrow. I mean, that's the realistic side of things. But sellout crowd, we've seen some crazy things happen in the Coliseum over the years in tough situations. And this one, again, not insurmountable, though difficult.
Coach's thoughts on what happened in the Oklahoma State game, particularly in the first half when the Mountaineers yielded 46 points, fell behind 13 at the break. They were down 14 in the second half, came all the way back, but Oklahoma dominated the overtime session to win 91-84. Coach Ross Hodge on the first half of that Oklahoma State contest and West Virginia's defensive breakdowns.
Yeah, I thought it was our worst defensive half of the season, which it was, the first half of that game. And really, if you strip it down a little further, it was the end of the first half. The last 4 minutes, it was 32-30 going into the last 4-minute segment of that first half. They go on close it, and now you're down 13. By and large, our second half defense was actually really good. And, that's what got us back in the game, got us in the lead. And I did feel like that was the first time late in some games that we had lost close games, that it was hard to pinpoint necessarily like some things we did wrong on the defensive end of the floor. Like we played several plays which I would classify as like, did you play the right way or the wrong way regardless of the outcome? Sometimes you can play the wrong way and you get fortunate. Somebody misses a wide open shot. At the end of the Oklahoma State game, I thought we had some really good defensive possessions, and I thought Clary in particular made some very difficult step-back threes really for the first time this year in a game that we've lost that I haven't felt like, we had fundamental defensive breakdowns down the stretch that contributed to it. I mean, we switched. Belo had him pinned in the corner. He had a step-back three in the corner. One time he had a step-back three over Jasper, where he, contorted his body and fell down and spun at the same time. And you got to tip your hat a little bit, in particular in that segment. But in the first half, our point of attack defense wasn't good enough guarding the ball. We didn't guard the ball good enough in transition. Some of that was Jasper's foul trouble, and then some of it was just other guys not executing and just not simply not doing what they've been taught to do.
Coach Ross Hodge there on the Oklahoma State loss and the defensive breakdown. So obviously Oklahoma State won that tempo battle in that contest. West Virginia, by accident or not, forced to play a much faster tempo in that contest. Coach Ross Hodge's thoughts on that?
Again, and I think so much of it is like who you're playing can dictate a lot of that stuff, and how they're playing people. Like Oklahoma State, to start the game, for instance, they double-teamed Harlan, which we've been able to generate good open looks out of double teams. So they double-teamed Harlan, he kicks it out, and Jasper is like wide open. We're always going to shoot that shot. I think the challenge becomes like how quickly can you get that shot against different teams, and you may not always be able to get that level or that quality of a shot that soon. Second possession, Honor comes off a ball screen with Belo. The man that's guarding Trey squeezes all the way to the nail, and Honor's able to kick it out to Trey, and Trey's wide open. And we always want those guys to shoot that. I think maybe some of it, to your point, maybe some of the hesitancy or maybe some of the lack of aggression is the discernment of like, when am I open and when I'm not? And a lot of that can happen on how you're being played.
So a little bit more, I guess, shooting earlier, shooting quicker in contrast to the tempo.
Yeah. And again, when are you open, when are you not? When's a good shot? And if you don't have a good shot, run tempo. I mean, run down the clock until you can get that good shot. You don't have to go fast, but if it's open, you want them to go fast.
How about slight changes at this point, late in the season?
Yeah, some of it, because at this point in time, maybe outside of like a special wrinkle you want to run offensively, or most of the things that you're doing in these games, you've at least attempted at some point in time in another game and have a baseline understanding. But to your point, the game can break you down, and I've mentioned this before. Weirdly enough, sometimes when you're at home, it's harder to communicate defensively when the crowd really gets into it, and calling out your coverages and making sure that everyone knows what's happening, because the crowd's typically going to be at its loudest if you're scoring and you're making a run and they're trying to help you defensively. That's when the home crowd's going to be the loudest. And can you hear and can you really, really communicate clearly with each other what you're supposed to be doing so you don't have breakdowns?
Ross Hodge there. And one more concerning this BYU team that West Virginia will host in front of the sellout crowd tomorrow. BYU without one of their standouts, Richie Saunders.
I mean, yeah, you can't, and Coach Young's done a great job, kind of reinventing themselves on the fly, and they've dealt with some other injuries throughout the course of the year as well, and there's not so much like there's certain actions that they would run for Richie Sanders and things of that, but just his experience as a whole and his physicality and what he meant to that program and what he meant to the Big 12, it's going to be hard to replace.
Yeah, obviously, and not only Saunders, but their backcourt depth affected by another fairly significant injury early in the season as well. They had another player who was a shooter last year, a contributor to the tune of about 40-plus made three-point shots, and he's out as well, Dawson Baker. They lost him early in the season. So no Baker, no Saunders. BYU has had issues with depth after that, and now they come to Morgantown.
Yeah, I mean, knock on wood, seemingly about the one Big 12 team that hasn't had depth issues or injury issues is West Virginia. More often than not, they've had the same group. I mean, Jacksonville's missed time and obviously is headed towards a red shirt unless something really drastic happens. And Belo missed a little bit of time early in the year, but for the most part, West Virginia's been healthy. Now just finding a way to get a couple more shots to go down.
West Virginia pouring it on in the baseball game. We need to take a break here, but they've added to the lead. It's now 12-1, and Maxwell Melessa, the Williamstown High School product, got in the game, got an at-bat, and I believe he got hit by a pitch, right? And
I think he came in as a
pinch runner. Okay,
pinch runner for Gravline.
So I saw somebody get hit.
You're right. But West Virginia now up, like you said, 12-1. It's the 5th time through 8 games West Virginia's hit double digits in terms of the run total.
Wow.
You're a baseball guy. You can get to double digits in a baseball game on the scoreboard. You're going to win a lot of games.
Oh yeah, there's no question about that. And again, so Melessa in the game as a pinch runner, came around to score, and I believe they've gone to the bullpen. It's Bryson Hoff, right? The George Washington High School product. So a couple of Mountain State natives in the game with Melessa and Bryson Hoff on the mound. Hoff, the first hitter that he faced, got on base, doubled to deep center field. But we'll see if Hoff can navigate this 8th inning, get out of it. West Virginia up at Kennesaw State 12-1 in the 8th inning. We'll take a break. We've got more coming up. And we remind you that when it comes to cybersecurity, blind trust is a bad idea. CityNet helps businesses avoid risky connections with proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert local support. Learn more at citynet.net today.
Starting March 10th, Metro News brings you the 2026 West Virginia SSAC High School Basketball Championships presented by Chick-fil-A.
First title for Spring Mills and boys basketball.
The best teams in the state will once again meet at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center to compete for the title in their respective classes. The girls' tournament runs March 10th through 14th. The boys play March 17th through the 21st. Catch all the games on the Metro News Radio Network and at WVMetronews.com, where you'll also find up-to-the-minute scoring, stats, and brackets, the latest tournament news, and game recaps. Also, you can watch the live HD video streams of the class championships both Saturdays on Metro News Television.
The luck and skill of the Irish, they win the AA championship.
The 2026 West Virginia SSAC State High School Basketball Championships beginning March 10th, presented by Chick-fil-A, exclusively on Metro News, the voice of high school basketball in West Virginia.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to WVMetronews.com to apply. That's WVMetronews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I have had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
New year, new trucks. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Steig Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement. We believe retirement starts with a plan. Saving for college starts with a plan. Your legacy starts with a plan. Do you have the right plan? Call our team at 304-443-4240 or email steig-info@wealthenhancement.com.
Sportsline for Friday. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter inside the Health Plan Studios. It's the CityNet statewide sports line. Let's get into the women's game now. It's hard to believe, but it's the regular season finale Sunday for the WVU women, and they are home to Cincinnati. And head coach Mark Kellogg from earlier today talked about coming to the end of the line in terms of regular season basketball.
In a good spot. Yeah, excited to be where we are. I'm excited for still what's to come. I can't believe it. It'll be March when we play. That seems to have snuck up on us a little bit. Didn't play particularly well, or couldn't quite meet some of the standards the other day down in Florida. So we're going to get better from that and learn, I think, and have some better energy and maybe some execution as well coming up this weekend. But yeah, we'll recognize 5 seniors, all that have had different impacts on this program for sure, but 5 really just quality people, and but we'll celebrate them big time before the game, and then hopefully relax and go play and see what we can do Sunday and just finish off the regular season. It's been a good one, and just want to keep getting better and improving and play as well as we can, obviously at the right time of the year, which would be in March.
Mountaineers are 23-6, 13-4 in conference play, and still alive for at least a share of the Big 12 Conference Championship.
I just think every time you play, we start going through the league, you gain confidence, when you go on the road, and we've been a little bit better on the road this year. Dropped a couple at home in the league that we would love to have back, but that's sports. That's the nature of it. You don't get them back. You don't get redos. It's what you are. And so just continuing to try to look forward, and if we're fortunate enough to beat Cincinnati and something else happens Sunday later, then awesome, and you're a Big 12 champion. And if not, we'll be a 2 seed, and that's pretty damn good too. And you're playing for all sorts of NCAA stuff. So again, things that we're not talking about all the time, but when we get done with the year and reflect, I think we'll probably feel pretty good about it.
So Greg, still a chance to share the Big 12 title in terms of tying in the standings, but no chance to be the number 1 seed.
Yeah, no. The way I figured the scenario, no. Right now, TCU's got a game lead on West Virginia. Obviously, has tiebreaker in hand.
Beat them twice.
But the Bears finished their season against Baylor. Now that game's going to be in Fort Worth, and TCU beat the heck out of Baylor in Waco a couple of weeks ago. But Baylor's tied with West Virginia right now in the standings. Now the Mountaineers got a win over Baylor, so West Virginia's technically ahead. But if Baylor wins, then you got a 3-way tie atop the league standings. All of them can put a trophy in their trophy case, but
hang a banner.
But it looks like I think TCU would, in that scenario, TCU would still have the league title, or at least the number 1 seed heading in. West Virginia would be number 2. The way I've got that thing sort of figured. So that's fine for West Virginia. Obviously, love to get a share of the title, love to get the complete title, but we keep talking. The thing we talk so much about is getting into the opportunity to be a regional host. So one of the top 16 teams, once the NCAA tournament is announced in a week and a half. But that's still very much alive. As we said at the beginning of the show, West Virginia is right now a 5 seed according to the bracketology. You need to be a 4 or above, so you're right there in the cusp. You got to do well. You certainly got to beat Cincinnati on Sunday. Starts there, and then do well in Kansas City next week when you get that opportunity.
Coach Mark Kellogg on the Cincinnati team coming to town.
Obviously, we've played Cincinnati several times, in our tenure, multiple times a year. One time 3, I believe. One of the years we played them in the tournament as well. So there's some familiarity, obviously, there. But it looks like they're playing better. They're playing people close. They had TCU down at half, and TCU went on the big run in that third quarter, and then Cincinnati still punched back a little bit late, so they're certainly more than capable, and they're playing with a lot of confidence, changing defenses a lot. They've got a big-time scorer in Perry who's playing great right now. So, they've got our full attention, as I like to say, where we'll be fully locked into that scout and our preparation over the next couple days.
Mountaineers looking to close out the regular season with a win over Cincinnati. One of those seniors, Jordan Harrison, we all know what she's meant to the program, and this week she was named one of the 15 finalists for the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year and the late season team. So, again, one of the top defensive players in the country. And in terms of steals, she's got 90 on the year, 3.2 steals per game, which is right around the top 10 in the nation. And Mountaineer coach Mark Kellogg on Jordan Harrison.
It's not the last one by any means, which typically it hits you a little bit harder when it's the last one, or even maybe after that when you've had time to reflect. So, yeah, I'll probably try not to have emotion unless she has some emotion that might trigger it a little bit more. But I'll try to be the calm, cool, collected guy out there, But that's always the tricky part about senior days too. Do you want to do them, before practice and let emotion, or before the game and let emotion come into play? Do you wait and do it after? But heaven forbid if you lose a game or something, that's not a whole lot of fun, so the timing of it's not great. We do a little celebration too with their families the night before. So, that may be the time to let some of the emotion, if you want to have it, come out then. But yeah, I think we'll probably be okay, but we've certainly been through it. I've said she's one of my favorites that I've ever coached, just because of the person she is and how hard she works. And obviously she's a talented player, and to choose to come to follow me here was, that meant a lot too. And she did it without even visiting at the time. She committed and then came on a visit after she had already said that she would come. So there was so much trust, in her and me, and I think I've hopefully reciprocated it back with her. But yeah, we've been through some battles. So yeah, I'm pretty fond of that kid.
Yeah. Coach Kellogg on Jordan Harrison.
Hard to think of many better transfers for West Virginia than Jordan Harrison, following Mark Kellogg from Stephen F. Austin 4 years ago now. But obviously senior day for her, but one of many. Sydney Shaw, starter, her senior day after a couple years at West Virginia. Mimi Wheeler's been a great addition to this team in her first season with the Mountaineers. Off the bench, Sydney Woodley and Cece Riviere, also seniors who will be going through those emotional moments on senior day, Sunday, Saturday night, maybe during the banquet. But certainly for West Virginia, some really good seniors that they're going to be saying goodbye to. But that's the thing about basketball. Football, senior day is sort of feels like more the end of the line. Basketball, it's just, okay, now let's go. It's postseason. Now it really ramps up.
One of those seniors you mentioned, Mimi Wheeler, transfer into the program for her graduate season, and she had some thoughts on being honored Sunday at Hope Coliseum.
Nostalgic, honestly. I don't think we really grasp how many times we've got the opportunity to play here, to practice. Sometimes practice can get repetitive, so stepping on the floor for our last home game is going to definitely be emotional, especially I know for Jordan, for Cece, and all them that's been here so many years, and the fans, they love them, they adore them, so I'm just excited to see how much they show up for them.
And one more from Mimi, her thoughts on playing 1 year with Jordan Harrison, and Harrison going out with her final home game.
She's amazing. I love Jordan so much. She's a sweet girl. She's funny. I mess with her all the time just because you got to mess with the little people. As posts, you got to make sure they feel your presence. But Jordan has been amazing. Just having somebody that's passionate about basketball, somebody who's willing to be kind, but also let me know what it is and what it isn't. And I can appreciate that. Her how hard she plays on the floor makes me play harder. When I see her up on the top of the press and she's working her butt off, I'm like, okay, I got to make sure my rotation is right, because if not, Jordan did all that for nothing. So I'm very appreciative to play with Jordan. Someone like her, even outside the court, she's very God-fearing, and she keeps me on my toes.
Senior day for the Mountaineer women against Cincinnati coming up on Sunday. Update from the baseball game. Bullpen did give up some runs, as Bryson Hoff, we mentioned. First 2 runners reached against him. He did throw a wild pitch. He got 2 outs, got a strikeout on a high fastball, and then got the second out of the inning. And West Virginia brought in Max Stifler, and he gave up a hit to score those 2 runs. Those 2 inherited runners scored. So they ended up getting – Kennesaw State ended up getting 3 runs in that bottom of the 8th inning. So it's 12-4. West Virginia leading Kennesaw State 12-4, and the Mountaineers are coming to bat in the top of the 9th. We'll take a break. More on the CityNet statewide sports line to come.
Some relationships just work better with trust, reliability, and great communication. That's why more West Virginians are choosing CityNet Gig Fiber. Fast, symmetrical speeds, no contracts, no data caps, and local teams monitoring the network around the clock. Plus, for a limited time, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a full year, with plans starting as low as $25 a month. Check availability at your address. Visit citynet.net today. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
An irregular heartbeat can be serious. At WVU Medicine, our electrophysiology team offers world-class care, close to home and always within reach, to diagnose and treat heart rhythm disorders with advanced technology and devices. Call 877-WVU, the number 4, HRT, or visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
Answering a text or phone call while driving seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road, and you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence. Make plans to join me at the Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show presented by Can-Am, Saturday and Sunday, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Over 200 vendor booths and 100,000 square feet of everything outdoors, all under one roof. Great prizes, seminars, and kids fish for free in the Academy Sports Trout Pond. It's the 24th annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Doors open both days at 9 a.m.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
The conversation starts long before the game. 3 guys before the game. Join Tony Carini, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 guys before the game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Final few minutes on the sports line. Want to remind you that High school basketball fans can see where their teams rank. Check out the Tudors Biscuit World Power Rankings at WVMetroNews.com. Click on the high school sports tab, then the high school basketball rankings, the 2026 Metro News Basketball Power Rankings presented by Tudors Biscuit World. That poll, in fact, is updated just a few hours ago, and it is out. Quad A, Morgantown back in the top spot in Quad A after beating Washington, the previous number 1 team. So Morgantown, 6 first-place votes, number 1. George Washington, 2 first-place votes, number 2. Those teams are going to play in the regular season coming up on Thursday. Spring Mills with 2 first-place votes, number 3. Washington's 4. Parkersburg South 5. University number 6. Class AA, Chapmanville knocked off previous number 1 Capital. So Chapmanville now unanimous number 1 in AAA, followed by North Marion, Capital, Bridgeport, Winfield, and Ripley. That's your top 6. AA defending state champ Wheeling Central, unanimous number 1, followed by Wyoming East, Doddridge County, James Monroe, Charleston Catholic. And in Single A, Tug Valley, 9 of the 10 first-place votes. Number 1, followed by Sherman. Parkersburg Catholic has the other first-place vote. Greater Beckley Christian, Huntington St. Joe round out the top 5. So, again, the complete top 10 in all 4 classes at WVMetroNews.com. Spring training baseball, J.J. Weatherholt, 2nd year in a row. His first hit of spring training last year was a home run. His first hit of spring training this year, a bomb, 442 feet to dead center field off the batter's eye.
Wow. Well, we've seen him with some power. We saw it when he was at West Virginia, and looks like it'll equate now, waiting for him to get his first regular season opportunity. But you would think at bats like that in the spring, as has been telling us, if he hits in the spring, he'll be in not only on the roster, but in the starting lineup for the Cardinals, right?
Yes, so that's his first hit. He's been on base a lot with walks in his previous games, but he DH'd today and led off. The Mets beat the Cardinals 14-3. The Pirates won again. Pittsburgh beating Baltimore 6-1. Connor Griffin in the lineup again today, did not get a hit after his 2 home run game earlier this week. And Mitch Keller started, pitched into the 3rd. No runs, 3 hits allowed. So the Pirates won again. They're 6-2 in the spring. Start printing your playoff tickets.
Yep. Get them now. They're
right.
hot.
All right, that's the Sports Line for the week. Greg and Travis will be back Sunday. Thanks for listening and watching.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sports Line is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.